after ripping on still a very popular TV show, do we want to start this podcast?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember what my voice is. I don't really have one.
It's you,
You
but
do.
slightly older.
Yeah, I know.
Just think.
Just
slightly
imagine
more dramatic.
Just imagine
Yeah.
yourself with like a full grey beard, and you're there.
Very contemplative.
The problem I have
But that has
is
an
I have to
American
remember the
accent.
NPC voices, because if you ever visit them again, I'm screwed.
I am reborn.
Anytime you go visit an NPC you guys have seen before, I'll need to pause, listen to the episode that it was in. You go, alright, I see how you go.
Darkness and light.
We'll find out. Okay.
Curious.
Look, let's actually start this time.
Yeah.
So, does everyone remember where we were at last time?
I believe we just pulled someone out of a snowdrift.
I'm finally
Indeed.
upright again.
Indeed.
It's been years.
You guys had set out from Goodmead and found yourselves in a blizzard. Unfortunately, due to how fast you were going, you were sort of caught off guard by the weather coming in, and you were caught completely by surprise. A few people fell out of the sled, and it was up to all of you to work as a team in a situation which I would consider to be fairly dangerous. Someone was buried in the snow, someone was lost, you had visibility down. I'd actually like to just take this moment really to congratulate all of you for doing a pretty good job. We had... things could have gone very wrong in that particular instance, but a lot of people did a lot of little decisions that made a big difference and did the right thing. Horatio not moving was a big start, because not getting yourself lost is huge in a blizzard.
And that other thing that I did helped a lot too. Do you want me to do it again? Like
Just remind
Just
in case
yelling?
people
No,
forgot?
please no, because I know I have to edit it again later. There was a lot of work with Sveta to find the lost people that were lost as well, and then we had Woden, who was trapped underneath the snow, did a lot of work to try and make himself as visible as possible. However, I would also like to point out that there was a lot of little things done by Carnelian, in particular, to make sure that the dogs were
MVP.
safe, that the cart wouldn't have got lost and blown off in the wind, and give yourself a temporary shelter and some quick thinking with tying yourselves up with rope. So actually, I do want to, in-game mechanics, give Carnelian an point of inspiration.
Huzzah.
Yeah.
So, does anyone want to explain inspiration for anyone listening?
I will.
Okay.
Inspiration is a resource that you get, which you can only ever have one of, and you can spend it at any time to immediately re-roll a dice roll that you do not like.
That includes the DM. So, if the DM rolls high, you can force me to re-roll and take the lower. It's basically giving yourself instant advantage that you have control over, or me instant disadvantage, which I have no control over. Fantastic.
Nice job.
So I wanted to, I wanted to point that out, but everyone did actually do a very good job of keeping you all safe. And you decided that you would bunker down with the dogs, the sled dogs, with everything sort of pegged together in the snow. And after a couple of hours riding out the storm that had passed. And then we find ourselves a few hours later, still on the road, but now with a heavily snow-covered, what would have been the road, and even the forests and well, you were on a ridge, so the ridge around you is also heavily covered, and as far as you can see. But the blizzard is now cleared, and you can see some distance away. It is starting to become nighttime. It has become late. It's getting cold. And it's getting dark.
Perpetual dusk.
Perpetual dusk is in effect.
Oh no.
You said there was a forest nearby, right?
I think I may. There would be some sparse trees, probably on the opposite end of where the lake is. So the lake, I believe, is off to your east, and then to the west is off like a ridge that then drops down, and there would be some forestry down there as well if you looked over. So you're also partially. You're partially buried with the dog, so you kind of have to dig yourself out to begin with from this blizzard.
Carnelian has a shovel.
Yes, I won't make you guys roll for that one, but you can dig yourselves out. But you find yourself in this situation.
We nearly became Vin Diesel. We nearly got stuck in Tokyo Drift.
Oh god! Oh, it's the puns again. What do you guys want to do?
Well, I will assist with trying to get us out of this snowbank that we've just been
Well,
encapsulated
actually,
in.
if someone else would like to take the shovel that Carnelian has, he'll happily give it up. He is not particularly strong.
I think between all of you, Sveta is digging. Everyone's sort of digging out. So I'm just going to say you guys are able to dig out.
I do a quick dog count.
Yeah? Oh, for sure.
How many dogs are there left?
So you do a count, and because of Carnelian's quick thinking, all of them are safe. You haven't lost any. They're all sort of herded. How do you do that for dogs? Corralled together into one spot and basically tied to the sled. So they are all together. The quick thinking has saved some dogs.
How many dogs are there?
I really wished you hadn't have asked that question.
I'm
But
so
I
sorry.
believe it was around about 8
Okay.
8 or so.
Shall we go to the forest and perhaps grab some kindling and wood, and maybe some food while we're there?
I'm quite good at getting some wood.
Are we going to take shelter near the edge of the woods, or are we going to just get wood and bring it back here and set up camp in the open?
You are essentially also in the middle of the road for better,
Well, we might want to pull the wagon.
It might be good to get off the road.
Well, and also you're still on top of this ridge as well. So this would probably now go for a little while, but there would be some way you could pull off once you get past it as well. But you are a few hours still from, I think it's Carconic.
Well, are we sure we're facing the right way to go to Carconic?
You don't.
Could I do a survival check?
You absolutely can.
I would like to assist.
Oh, thank you.
For this check one, are you proficient in
I
survival?
sure am.
Yeah, I'll allow a advantage survival check.
Got a double 9 on that. So
Well.
that is a 14.
14. You think that you were a little bit turned around from the cart being repositioned, but you're fairly confident that you can, with the dying light, like where the sun would be, you can sort of work out your cardinal directions and reorient yourself.
I would like to do so.
You can.
And herd the dogs in that general direction.
Yep. So you're sort of organising them back into, like, on their sort of lead, on their sleigh. What are they
Reins?
called? Reins? Yes. Reins.
Got there.
We got there in the
We
end.
did it.
Sure.
Alright. Would you like me to roll an animal handling check?
Not unless you're going to set off.
No.
I mean, we
Don't think
kind of
so?
need to move to a safer location, so we might need to set off a little bit.
How much light do we think's left in the day?
It'll be another survival check. But given when you left and how many hours will probably pass for the blizzard, you probably only have a couple hours left at most, and that's not enough to get you to town before darkness. Now, you can try and just plough on through, but you do run the risk of getting lost in the dark.
Which is bad.
Yeah.
That is bad. Perhaps we should seek shelter.
Yes. Can we head towards wherever the forest is?
Yeah, so if you decide to run, you'd probably estimate if you just ran for about 20 minutes or so, you'd get down to the bottom of the ridge, into a little bit of a, not a valley, but just sort of more into flat plain, and there would be a forest surrounding the road path, which you could pull off to.
Even just on the fringe of the forest, maybe? Yeah. Or near that like little clearing in front of it, yeah.
Well, it depends if you want to be right on the road, or you could go for a look for a safe haven, or you could try and construct something.
You know these woods, Veta. What would you do?
I don't think there's anything in these forests, at least as far as I know, but it's probably best to be near the road and probably set up a similar type camp that we did before.
Sure.
I will point out that if you want to, you can roll like any of your knowledges for sort of local nature if you want to sort of work out places.
I'm not proficient in nature.
No, this one you can probably do untrained. This is sort of more you've travelled through this way before, so you'd have a chance to know somewhere.
Sure. Yeah, that's not it. That is a 3.
Yeah, you're not sure.
Alright. But I think that's a good idea. Setting up a camp near the road.
Near the road? Okay. Roll me an animal handling check, and we'll work out how well you start these dogs.
So much dice. 11.
11.
I miss my dice tray.
We have to get you a mini.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, so with that, that's enough. You have a bit of a rough time of getting them in order. The dogs are a little bit, I would say, skittish, or they've just been cooped up for a couple hours with the blizzard outside, so they're all sort of a little bit unruly.
Coop skit.
So I'm going to say it takes you another hour, really, to wrangle them properly and get them in line. So that's what cost you for that check. So you only really have about an hour's of light. You want to run for 20 minutes to get down off the ridge?
Yeah.
Okay. So you do so, and you come to the forest's edge. There is a couple of small animal trails leading off. You have a fairly large sled. Roll a perception check. Anyone who wants to.
Anyone who wants to, I want to.
Yeah, I wanna.
Why do it?
Let me in.
Let me in the...
Oh!
Fart.
Sorry.
These guys are terrible.
That would be
yeah?
a 16.
16.
This is a great dice tray. Perception?
9 for me.
Perception.
25.
25.
Oh, Christ.
4. Okay, so both Carnelian and Sveta, when you come down off the ridge, you're sort of looking off to the side as you slow down. You see a number of different animal trails, like deer trails and things like that, for lack of a better word. You do see a slightly wider path coming off of the main road that would maybe fit your sled. It would be a bit tight, but it looks like maybe something that someone has used before, potentially to camp on the journey. And maybe they've stopped somewhere near here before.
Carnelian would like to make use of his Outlander feature, Wanderer, which allows him to
Turn into a Mitsubishi.
find food and fresh water for myself and up to 5 other people each day, provided the land offers berries, small game, water, and so forth.
Okay.
That is perfect.
Well, what I'll do
Fantastic.
is when you guys stop, I'll allow that one to trigger, and you can get a little bit of something. What do you guys want to do? You could just simply pull the cart up where you are on the road and just sort of camp off the side. You could try going deeper into the woods.
I
Or
think incorporating the wagon into the camp is the best idea.
Yep.
I am with you.
okay. So, sorry, what exactly are you doing then? Are you just stopping on the road where you are, or are you going to try and go a little bit deeper in the forest?
Did you mention there was a place that these two noticed that would fit a cart?
There is a place where you can, it's a very narrow for your sled, but there is a somewhat usable path that seems to take a little bit deeper into the woods that maybe someone's used previously.
But there's no evidence to suggest that it might be leading to a campsite or anything.
Not
It's just
necessarily,
a
no.
wider path.
It just looks like even that by itself means that something wider has been through here, because it, generally, if it's not a path that's been used, maybe even regularly, it would be overgrown. So potentially it leads somewhere, but you don't know where.
I'm not confident on our position, so I don't know where this leads to, and I don't feel comfortable going down there. If it means we're on the road that goes either direction we're supposed to go. I don't know where this road goes to.
So do you suggest that perhaps we should set up camp here?
Yes.
Perhaps? Okay.
Yes. If you're comfortable in doing that, being exposed to the road.
Yes,
I think so.
Love to sleep outdoors. I don't think I ever have.
You have a
There's
feeling.
a way to do it, but you've got to start somewhere, I suppose.
You
And
think
I'm just
you
going
might
to go
like
start
it?
getting some firewood, like just immediately. Yes. Oh, these sticks look suitable. Yes.
Okay, so you're essentially
Wet.
just wanting to camp pretty much pulled up to the road, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you start breaking down camp. Everyone has little jobs to do. I will allow your Outlander feature to happen. So does that just give everyone food? If there's
Assuming that there is food for me to find, it says that I can find food and fresh water for myself and up to 5 other people each day.
and there's no requirement for survival or anything. Okay.
Attached to that.
I will say, food is scarce in general. We're in a winter that's been going for years. What I'll say is that there's enough to maybe partially feed for an evening, but you'll need to supplement with any other rations you've got.
That's rational.
However, you can find fresh water pretty easily because of the snow.
Well, we'd have to boil it to make sure
Yes.
it's safe, but yeah.
Okay.
Is Horatio just going full pelt into like the woods?
He's not running in. I'm assuming there's like at the edge of the forest there'd be some shrubs and stuff. So he's staying very close to the fringes and just looking for sticks.
Just enthusiastically.
Yeah.
You wouldn't mind me like making use of prestidigitation to to remove the moisture from any firewood we find.
Zimmer, I'll never stop anyone from using prestidigitation on any reason whatsoever.
Perhaps for the listeners you could explain what prestidigitation is.
I mean, that is actually quite a task, but it is a cantrip. It is a
Prestidigitation.
minor magical trick that novice spellcasters use for practice. It has a number of effects, which are, I can create an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect, such as a shower of sparks, a puff of wind, faint music, or an odd odor.
He's casting it on me right now.
I can instantly
Listeners.
light or snuff out a candle, torch, or small campfire. You can instantly clean or soil an object no larger than 1 cubic foot. You can chill, warm, or flavor 1 cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour. You can color a small mark or a symbol appears on an object or a surface for 1 hour. Or you can create a non-magical trinket or an illusory image that can fit into your hand that lasts until the end of your next turn. So lots of small things, but it is a favourite spell of mine just because of how much it can do. Particularly the snuffing or lighting a candle, torch, or small campfire.
Yeah.
You can do an awful lot with that.
Like an auxiliary spellcaster thingy, yeah.
Oh, I see you've got the fire going. I was just about to do that. I'll go unpack.
Not
I'll
only
unpack.
can Carnelian undamp the firewood with this cantrip, he can also instantly light it without fiddling with flint or tinder.
It is very
Just
helpful.
waving his hand.
I brought back some Oh, okay, I'll just leave them there. Okay.
Not
Very
not
nice.
bad.
No, keep the sticks. We do need more of those.
Oh,
need
okay,
to
yeah.
we will need to feed the fire all over, like throughout the night.
Right.
Oh, speaking of which, we should assign watches.
Well, I can take a midnight watch. I don't know about these humans though.
I mean,
I will take any watch.
I will also take any watch.
I'll
give
go-
them the first 2 watches.
I'll go
We
first.
will.
We will share the first 2 watches.
Yes.
Is your eyesight okay in the dark?
No.
Yes.
Oh, I've never met a human with good eyesight in the dark.
Well,
it
you've
really?
never met me until now.
No, you are quite the treat.
I've never met a human who could see in the dark before.
Neither.
Yes,
Care to share?
I'm very easy on the eyes, and I have very good eyes.
Use your special eyes.
I'm convinced.
Use your wizard eyes.
My wizard eyes.
I'm not going for a rest right now, are we? Or we just...
So we're pretty much setting up camp at this point. So we can work out shift or like as in watch order in a minute. But what I am interested is what you guys do to set up camp. What do you do after this day that's just happened to you? You know?
Alright, well, we should find out which direction the wind's blowing in.
Okay.
I mean, ideally it'll be coming in from a direction that is not the forest, because the forest will provide some shelter from the wind. So we can kind of set up the wagon on one side and have the forest on the other side, and then just do a similar thing where we got like...
A lean-to.
Yeah, a lean-to against the...
Classic lean-to.
Yeah.
Well, the forest's only on one side, right? So we're up
Yeah.
against the side, yeah.
We'll have 2 sides exposed, no matter what we do. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you
we can
you
we can
found
kind
yourself.
of like find the direction of the wind to make like to find an optimal spot to put the wagon.
I
Sounds
see
good.
what you mean.
Yeah.
Because that covers another 90 degrees. Leaving 2. Gotcha.
Well, being a bit of a survivalist myself, I have over 5 pitons, so I will.
That's definitely
I will anchor the sled with my pitons.
Do you have a hammer as well?
I have Beef Cliff,
Of course.
Of course.
the ultimate hammer.
Does he have a hammer?
Well,
Will that is that good for hammering in pitons?
It's
Will that not
it's
like?
the only hammer I've ever needed.
Okay then.
I roll attack on this piton. $17.
You attack the piton and successfully kill it.
That piton
Yes.
is never coming
Well.
out again.
My work here is done. What's next?
The other 4 pitons?
You
Maybe
need to
another
tie
thing
a
we can
rope
explain
to
Oh yeah.
is what a piton is.
I would like to climb onto the sled.
Oh, we probably
and
should have done
watch
that last
where it
game.
You should have.
Okay.
Did someone use pitons last game?
He
Yeah.
used them extensively.
Carnelian used them to, you
I
know.
was upside down in the snow.
That is a good point.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
Tokyo drifting.
It's essentially like a
It is a
peg, a big peg.
It is a
essentially.
metal
Yeah.
spike with a loop around the top that you run rope through.
Yeah.
They're used for climbing.
Like a primitive tent peg.
Primitive. I think it's more. I think
it's like
more
it's like a
climbing?
tent peg. Yeah, it's a climbing tool. You hammer them into cliff faces and run your rope through them.
Okay. Gotcha.
But they also have a multitude of other uses, like tent pegs. So
Multi-purpose tool.
All right.
1 meter down. There's a piton in there somewhere.
you just left like a piton, leg-shaped hole in the dirt.
I'd like to
It's
just
too deep.
carefully
I can't
observe.
get a rope through.
Hang on. I think. What would you like to do, Sveta? Sorry,
I'd
you.
like to just climb onto the sled and
Okay.
carefully observe Warden
Okay.
from afar in amusement, because Horatius taken my wood and my job with wood.
And
I mean,
you've
you need to
taken my
gather a
bed.
bit of firewood for the night.
You could help Carnelian find food.
That's true. But you seem very capable.
I mean,
You only need to use one player ability for that.
Yes, you're a Mitsubishi. You made this hail. I don't know who I am anymore.
Okay, so you have a fire going. You've got food. You've got the dog. The dogs are sort of out, and you've got the sled tied down. You guys don't have tents, but you sort of have your sleeping area around the fire. Is there anything you want to say to each other? Is there anything anyone wants to do
do you have
before setting
sleeping
watch?
bags at least? Like,
My blanket is in use.
I have cold weather clothes.
I have blanket.
Oh, I have a bedroll.
bedroll.
I may.
Actually, that's a good point. Does anyone not have a bedroll and blanket?
Excuse me, hang on a moment there, please.
I don't have a bedroll.
I actually have 2 bedrolls.
Well, that's
Oh, that is very lucky.
because I believe Warden
Oh
doesn't
wait,
have
no,
one.
I do.
Okay.
I do. It's just under backpack, which is one item.
Oh, it's in backpack. Wait, under.
You should have gotten some form of starting kit with your first level.
You can.
Like adventuring gear or...
Yeah,
Dungeoneer's pack?
where's mine?
If you click on backpack,
Which
it's
pack?
in the
What type of
description.
pack did you
It
take?
tells you what it can hold, but not what it has.
Are you using D&D Beyond?
Yeah.
It should list it out there.
I got an alms box.
Oh, you chose
don't
the
have it.
priest
You chose the
pack.
priest.
I'm
the scholar. Yeah.
I'm a man of the cloth.
so
literally.
yeah, you don't have a sleeping.
I don't need it
bedroll.
when I have faith.
He's got
Yeah,
some-
let's see how well that faith does for you in the morning.
Sveta, you said you have a second bedroll.
I have a
right?
second bedroll if you need it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So
Sven.
wait. You bought 2 bedrolls, but not a shield.
I don't need someone like you who has a hammer named Beefcliff to lecture me.
You will come to love my beef cliff.
I
Okay, but
sincerely
never
doubt
say it
that.
like that ever again.
Sorry, you will appreciate my beef cliff.
I don't know if that's better.
That is not
my
better.
beef cliff.
Alright, I won't get beef cliff out tonight. Is that what you guys are saying?
Just store it safely.
Alright.
Are you saying to put it in some kind of sheath so it protects?
Callan, you're not making this any better.
I don't think I'm trying. Okay.
I think I'm trying.
I haven't had enough alcohol for this conversation.
Well, Sveta, thank you for the bedroll.
You're very
I
welcome.
will not die of hypothermia tonight.
Well, we'll be under wolves and...
You do still need a blanket
I got blanket.
lying on a
Well,
bed.
yeah, the wolves.
are we not all pitching our own blankets up to help with the lean-to? Or does that only need 1 blanket?
So you're trying to make
more
a...
blankets.
Yeah.
More
I mean,
blankets.
you see, what is your intent to make a lean-to and all just sort of sleep without a blanket underneath it? Or
Well,
We'll put a
Blanket.
dog on each of us.
it's possible.
a bedrolling. A bedroll is like Sorry, it's not just like it's a...
Blankets are separate.
You never know when you're going
A
to sleep, and a bedroll
bedroll
helps you.
consists of bedding and a blanket thin enough to be rolled up and tied.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really good in the cold weather.
Well,
I assume that the blankets are probably a little bit thicker here.
look, I'm
That's
covered
what it
in
says in
fur. I'm
bedroll,
done.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you've got a bedroll blanket and then a blanket.
Okay, good. So you can use your spare blankets to make a lean-to, and yes, okay.
We also have dogs. Dogs.
You also have
I'm going to try
this-
and entice one of the dogs to come and cuddle me.
Make a handle animal check.
There's a lot of
Trusting
body
your dice
warmth
again,
here.
Jen. If it fails me, these are going in the bin. Oh, that's all right. That's a 22.
22. How do you entice the dog?
I'll just go over and, sit, crouch down amongst them and, put the feelers out, give them a few scritches, see if any respond better than others, and I'll see if I can get him over to the cart where I'm setting up my bed.
Okay. It was a good roll. The roll... It's a very Woden thing to just confidently walk up like, yeah, one of these dogs will like me.
You do.
I don't know what to say about it. Yes. So I'm going to say maybe the derpest dog. And everyone else, all the other dogs are running around, play fighting, and burning off energy. And there's just this one dog that's like, approaches you. It's got floppy ears.
Does he have a collar?
All these
What's
dogs
his name?
have a collar. His name is. The previously unnamed dog is in fact called Dogcliff.
Here, Dogcliff. Come on.
What a shocking coincidence.
Oh, I see you've got a friend there.
Yes, he's taken quite a liking to me. I've always been good with animals.
Really?
Since I was young.
How old are you?
Shockingly, Carnelian believes him.
It
I
does
must just smell good, right?
You still have that lavender on you.
I didn't... Shh.
It somehow cuts through.
Even though you were buried and burned for most of the day.
Which I am very sorry for.
My hair's still glowing.
Did you tie it up in the end?
Of course, yes.
I miss my dog from home.
What was his name?
Jeffrey.
Sorry.
I thought it was going to be Dogcliff again.
It's a summer name. Very summer.
But we can find you a dog.
Yeah, let's get... I'm going to get me a dog.
Alright, make a handle animal check.
Let me show you how I handle animals. 11.
You start approaching the different dogs and just all of them just, as you come up and you're sort of whistling and, just
Hello,
trundling along. And they just all, think maybe it's a game. So they start, running away. And they turn around and go, and just do that thing that dogs do when they're really excited and they want to, play. And they keep running away.
Puppy, no.
You definitely had a dog, right?
Yes. These
it one
dogs
of
are
those-
different.
Is it a little dog, little fluffy dog by any chance?
No, it was a medium-sized dog.
Okay.
Proud beast.
Whereabouts are you from, Horatio?
I'm from a city quite far to the southeast, called Delusk. It's in a place called the Border Kingdoms, very far from here. It's a beautiful place, next to a lake.
How did you end up here? It's a long way.
It is, but from a young age, you see, Delusk was renowned for having a lot of books, and from a young age I read about medicine and biology and anatomy and things like that. So I wanted a formal education in medicine, and you simply can't get that in a place like Delusk. It's very much a town built on trade and not so much education, if you like. So I went to Baldur's Gate to receive a formal education. Yes, I'll never forget Jeffrey. Never forget.
He's dead now?
I would very much imagine so. I haven't been back home for years. Pushing decades.
Goodness.
Pretty sure Jeffrey is no longer.
Sorry to hear that.
That's okay. He had a good life, so you know.
I mean, modern medicine, he could still be alive, maybe.
I like to think that.
Just want to put a DM's note about the necromancer from your hometown raising dogs. Continue, sorry.
Carnelian will pull out his viola and start to play to distract from the thought of necromancer.
That didn't actually happen.
It wasn't even crossing my mind, but
was
now
for
it
me, for
is.
now.
Pet cemetery.
So, at what age did you leave? Were you a young man?
Yes, still fairly young, I'd say, late teens. Finished. Side note, do they have primary school and secondary school?
Not as such. I mean, you think of it as it's not exactly equivalent to medieval, but you could have, like, you know, depending on your status for your parents and whatnot, there might be like there might be some school or finishing school or private tutors.
I imagine it also has a lot to do with like which city you grew up in.
That is also true. I think it's also, think of it as well as like if you are someone that's young and shows potential, someone may have taken you in as like a mentor, like a tutor or something similar. It depends on it does depend on the city, and you can sort of twist it either way. But yeah.
Well, from a young age, I showed a keen interest, and apparently had some degree of aptitude in basic chemistry and a little bit of biology. So I was taken in by a local apothecary and received some basic training in salves.
I was about to ask. You were very good with salves.
You'll have to explain for Carnelian. Carnelian doesn't know those words.
A salve?
Oh,
God.
no.
Oh no.
Carnelian meant the other two.
An apothecary.
Where to begin?
An apothecary is... Shit, it's kind of like a medieval chemist, really, isn't it? Yeah. They make, like, herbal remedies and treatments.
With herbs and dead creatures.
Made out of all kinds of weird stuff. Yeah. So kind of like... Yeah, so we brewed potions and made salves and other products intended to heal. Mixed efficiency. A lot of it simply didn't work, but I was afraid to admit that. So I went... At that stage, then I decided that I wanted to get a proper education in medicine, not just feeding people, dried deer horn and telling them they'll be better. I wanted to actually do something more significant than that. So it was at that point that I made the journey to Baldur's Gates. Haven't been back since.
I did notice that the herbs that you were showing me is very powerful nature magic in them. So the schooling that you took was very good.
Well, yes, there is a certain magic to it. I definitely agree with that. Even being at the apothecary, I did see, and obviously a lot of things were useless and did nothing, but there were certainly some things that seemed to work better than they should. And that fascinated me. And they were the ones I wanted to focus on.
As a child prodigy, did you think that it was worth it? Having you get all the benefits of high intelligence, athletic prowess, but do you think it was worth it for the harshness of your parents, and they were always yelling at you and driving you, and that's it. You had that as well, yeah.
I was
Warden.
Warden. I never knew. I'm sorry to hear that on your...
Oh, don't be sorry. That's how it is, isn't it? I thought everybody who had the gifts of people like us, there are downsides as well, I suppose.
Yes. My parents were fairly supportive. I don't know what to say. That part of my backstory is relatively boring. I'll get back to you. Maybe they were terrible. But that Jeffrey was... Let me tell you, I'll tell you that much.
I have like an ear flick and just out of curiosity what Warden was trying to allude to. Do you consider yourself a prodigy? Prodigy?
Oh, everybody did. I was Wonderkin, cream of the crop.
Wonderkin? I'm
Yep.
not familiar.
I choose not to elaborate.
Oh.
I actually don't know what it means properly. I wouldn't be able to explain it.
Okay, well, that's totally fine.
It is a very Woden thing to use a word that you're not 100% sure.
So you're also cleric as well?
No, I was...
Different teachings?
Yeah. I guess I, was more physically talented.
You couldn't reel Beefcliff quite well.
Well, goes without saying.
Woden, where are you from originally?
Oh, I'm from Luskan. We, city of sails, the northest of the north.
Aren't we further north from Luskan where we are right now?
Maybe. I don't know.
For the audience, yes.
Oh, yeah?
Luskan would be like the last major city on the Sword Coast before
Yeah.
you hit the damage.
Right.
The Icewind Dale is considered the furthest north
Human settlement.
human settlements in Faerun, but it doesn't have
yeah.
big cities like Luskan. So
Like
it's,
Horatio passed through Luskan
Correct,
to get
yeah.
to
Man,
you.
I didn't look at the map you gave us.
the thing about Luskan is that it is sort of considered the last city northwards, because it is really the last big city before this place, which is the Ten
Before the
Towns.
spine of the world.
Before the spine
Which
of
is
the world.
obviously what I was trying to say.
Of course.
Ratchet,
Jeez.
Sorry.
No, I like you being confused about being further north. That's great.
So you are a warrior fighter?
This is what happens when you've only been playing D&D for 2 years.
Hey, fine.
I'm gonna ask it
yeah.
again.
Yeah, you can do it
So
again.
you're a warrior or a fighter? To be able to wield such a big weapon?
I'd say just all-around athlete and hero.
With magical abilities of some sort?
Oh yes, I was gifted with a bit of the arcane, if you know what I mean.
No.
Well,
Is it...
maybe if we, maybe you'll find out. Not tonight.
Is that not normal?
Some people aren't born with magic.
Well, some kobolds aren't born without magic, but don't you get like normal people who have hatchlings? They get up and then they're just casting fireballs. Well, not fireballs, but like throwing fire because they can.
I'm not familiar with kobolds.
I mean, it wasn't born
Or
with it.
humans. Well, actually, not humans. You weren't born with it.
No.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Thank you. Waiting for it.
Thank you for derailing
I run my fingers.
conversation.
I run my fingers through my long hair.
The voice is like, maybe there's Maybelline.
I was
Is,
definitely thinking. I'm glad you went there. Because I was good.
I'm not cutting this, by the way.
No, it's Woden. I thought we spoke about this. I thought you were from Goodmead.
I am.
Why you forgot my name?
No, not at all.
Alright, that was a weird thing to say. I
I
don't
apologize.
understand the reference.
I don't know where it came from either.
Just a tear in space and time, and these words just filled into Spencer's
We're
head.
being sponsored!
Oh god.
Pick this up, guy.
That's right, we are being sponsored and we look fabulous. I just want to put that out there.
Well,
I'd like to see the money, if that's right.
Yeah.
No, I want to talk more about Warden, but
Yeah, good. Well,
I'm lost for questions now. I was
I
thinking
think you
about...
derailed yourself.
Yeah, I was thinking about kobold hatchlings. Like,
Hey, I have a question for you, Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
Your magic, was it part of your training in the guild?
No, I had it, I mean, I got it while I was at school. I went to... It was a very high-pressure school, my parents paid a lot of coin to have me go to this school, and, I obviously needed a bit of tutoring. I wasn't doing the best, so they took me to the blacksmith. They called that's all they called him, and as all the other kids did. I hope, I'm pretty sure all the other kids did it. But you go under the mountain. There's the guy in the flames and the shadow, and he's forging the weapons, and he gives you gifts, and then you have the arcane, and the old story.
Carnelian's not familiar with this human tradition.
I think you may have spent a little too long in the snow. Are you feeling okay, my friend?
Well, now I'm a bit confused. Is that how you got your abilities?
No, not by a man under the mountain, no.
Oh, you got a lady, or...?
No. Is this a Luskin thing?
No, it was... we travelled a fair bit, but,
No.
We found him in the end. He was under the mountain.
It's strange foreign tale to me.
This is highly unusual, but I'm fascinated.
Yeah.
I've received my abilities through training. Purely. More recently, more than that, but how much more I cannot say. It's still very early days. Being a man of the cloth, apparently.
Why are you rolling dice over there?
Don't worry about me.
No. Warden not wanting to talk about the warden?
Well, then now I need to have a think about the way I was raised, I suppose.
I mean no offense, Warden. Truly. I think your story is fascinating. I look forward to hearing about it more in another episode.
I will get everyone at that point, as the conversation dies down slightly, to roll me... Actually, tell me what your passive perceptions are.
Oh. Well, just so you know, I had another character once whose passive perception was 25.
I remember
He
that.
saw some shit.
You'll never let me forget that.
Glad that
Carnelian's is 13.
13.
15.
15.
12.
12.
13.
It's not 25.
It was
How
not
disappointing.
Okay. So, as the conversation dies
It's
down...
literally Jeffrey.
It's Jeffrey's the character. I believe it was something different. As the conversation does die down a little bit, and you hear just the ever so faint movement of wind in the trees. It's not strong, it's not whistling through the trees, but there's just that slight movement. And you hear just in the darkness to your west the light sounds of footfalls. Just...
We can all hear this.
Yes.
Is that you, Cliff?
Shh.
And
sorry.
How many people?
And you sort of takes you back to the road, like your eyes, the gaze of your eyes sort of drifts back to the road, and in the distance, just coming into the edge of the firelight where your light throws out, is the figure of what looks like a man slowly walking up the road towards you.
Just one?
Looks like just one.
Do those of us who can see better at night see anything more than just the silhouette?
Anyone with dark vision.
To those of us who can't see anything.
Yeah. So anyone who doesn't have dark vision, you can just see the shadowy figure on the edge of the firelight starting to walk forward. Anyone with dark vision, though, much more clearly can see looks to be a human man walking down the road. Seems to be all rugged up, but you can definitely see a wicked sword at his side. And you can see a number of other hilts of what you could maybe assume to be daggers sort of running up his vest, or that is partially exposed. He gets a little bit closer, and you see him stop for a second. He can see the fire. You see him sort of rummage with something into his pocket. He pulls out a long, sort of like a semi-longish stick. You see him cup his hands and flick, flick, flick. The smoke rising from what could only be maybe a cigar as he walks forward again.
As he approaches, can I call out?
You sure can. What will you say?
You there! Announce yourself, and I will cast light
Okay.
to try and illuminate him.
So light has to be cast on an object unless you're using something like dancing lights. Do you
I'll
cast
illuminate his cigar.
You have to touch it. Light, I believe you have to touch it. So you'd have to touch something and maybe throw it, or...
Can I quickly compact a snow? No, actually just a stick.
Yeah, you can grab something nearby, maybe a stone or a stick, and quickly cast light and just toss it out towards him.
You there. Reveal yourself. I'm throwing a flare.
The stone bounces and throws light in all different directions until it comes to a rest. And you can see that it lands just on the road, and the light fills up from just below him, and you can sort of see the light features sort of lights his very ragged beard, and his eyes are still in darkness to you though. And you can see sort of that cherry pinpoint of a cigar or cigarette. And he approaches again. Well, what do we have here? Couple of travellers at night, I see.
He's counting us off, don't tell him.
Carnelian will cease playing the music, but will not be letting go of the viola.
Okay.
I reach my hand and grab Beefcliff.
Reach to the side for my quarterstaff, but don't raise it.
Okay.
I will also grasp my mace within its sheath.
Oh, we're all pretty jumpity, are we, fellas? And lady?
I'll tell.
There's no need for hostilities. No need indeed, unless you do something you're gonna regret.
Why should we trust you? You've wandered from nowhere.
Trust me? Oh, I'm not asking you to trust me. Here, let me get a little closer. And he makes a step. You can see his features a bit better now. They're definitely rough. He's smiling though, ear to ear. And you can see that sort of very wicked, what looks like a scimitar, sort of hanging off to his side.
Okay, I'm going to hold Bane.
Okay.
If he does any funny business, if he makes a move to attack,
So interestingly enough, I wonder, with Bane, when you're holding an action like a spell, if you don't use it within the next turn, you lose the spell.
So does that mean I can only hold it technically for about 6 seconds?
Yeah, roughly. But I would also say that you would need to make a gesture as if you're about to do something.
Oh, yeah, because it's...
unless you want to make a sleight of hand to try and conceal what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try to hide it.
Alright, do a sleight of hand.
Oh boy. Just for the listeners, I'm doing what's called holding an action, where I'm not actually using it, but I'm preparing something in the event that something else happens.
And you do need to be specific with your trigger, so I will also get you to... with held actions, you need to say something very specific, like, if someone walks through that door, I'm going to fire an arrow. And it consumes your reaction in terms of turn order. Now, you can also ignore your trigger as well, if you wish. So it does give you a degree of flexibility, but you need to be specific as to what your action's going to do.
So when the time comes, I still can choose to not do it.
You can still choose not to do your reaction.
All right, let's see how sneaky I am at.
Well, what are you holding Bane for? Like, is there a particular thing?
Him drawing his sword and advancing on us, so as if he's going to attack.
Okay, so being hostile, drawing swords.
Yes.
I'll fit that under the same category.
Okay.
Not bad.
18.
18. Doesn't seem to notice what you're doing to your side, just sort of steps a little bit further closer. He is sort of just like, his hands are just sort of naturally, sometimes he'll grab his cigarette and he's just sort of wafting it around, the smoke rising from his, just from his mouth, the billowing smoke. Now, come on, we can all be friends here. Well, a little bit of friends. Looks like, and his eyes sort of wander over to the large sled that you've got. It looks like you guys are doing a bit of a milk run, is that right?
Can I look behind him and see if I see anyone else?
Do a perception check.
22.
Do you have dark vision?
Nope. But 22.
22. So with that, what I'll say is that he's making a big show of being, like, you can see his cigarette, like he's using that almost as like a focal point. You're sort of looking kind of past him into the darkness of the trees. The light only sheds so far. And you think, like, just on the corner of your vision, you think you're catching shapes maybe in the trees across the road, or or even you're just sort of catching the flitters of shadows within shadows.
Can I attempt to whisper to my group? How far away is he at this point?
He would be... I'd say he's around 60 feet, maybe 55 feet away.
Okay.
He's still a bit of a distance,
All right,
but he's slowly walking towards you.
And we're all still around the fire, right? So there's
Yeah.
a bit of ambient noise. Yeah. I'm going to whisper over the flames. He's not alone. He's brought company. Watch him closely.
Can Carnelian, someone who can see quite well in the dark, try to look past the man to see if...
Roll a perception check.
That would be an 18.
18. You do, now that someone's pointed it out, you do think you maybe catch little bits of movement on the edge, because dark vision still has a range of 60 feet, right?
I can treat 60 foot of low light as though it were...
Yeah, but this darkness past a certain point here.
Yeah.
It would be darkness well past the 60-foot range.
Yeah, but then it's another, it's...
60 on top.
Yeah, you can see in darkness up to shades of grey up to 60 feet.
Yeah. So what I would say is that on the edges of your dark vision, you think you catch movement every so often, but you're not entirely sure and you can't pinpoint anything. He's still walking a little slowly towards you.
Can I... Oh, sorry,
I was going to say I'll pick up Beefcliff in one hand, holding it out to the side.
Yeah.
And I'll start walking towards him and I'll say, you, stop there or you'll meet the hammer.
Okay. And he sort of puts his hands up in a show. He's like, oh, that's a big one, isn't it? Hey, there's no need to be jumpy. No need to be jumpy. I'm just here. Maybe, you folks out of Goodmead?
That's none of your quarry.
Oh, come on. Share and share alike out here in the wilderness.
You haven't even given me your name.
Oh, you haven't given me yours either.
My name's Woden.
Oh,
And this is
Woden.
Beefcliff. And that's Dogcliff. I've given you 3 names now. You gonna tell me the names of your friends?
Oh, sharp little ones, aren't we? Well, you can just call me Samuel. That'll do. But really, maybe it's been a bit pretentious, I suppose. Look, as I said, share and share alike out here in the wilderness, and looks like you folks out of Goodmead doing a delivery run can only really mean one thing. So, I think maybe we could work out a little bit of beneficial deal for everyone. Goodmead's famous for its mead after all. I think maybe you could part with some of it, and then the rest of it can go with you with your lives.
I think we've got more than you can drink, but we've still got none to spare for you.
Oh, you don't know how thirsty I am, Woden.
You don't know how thirsty Beefcliff is. Oh, he's thirsty.
Thirsty for blood.
Now, doesn't have to come to blows. No one has to die tonight.
That's very true if you walk away.
I think me and the lads aren't really in the business of walking away.
Do you think that we are useless? Do you think that we're not capable of defending ourselves?
Oh, no, you look like a strong lot, but I got more friends than you.
We don't need friends with our abilities.
Oh, big talk from a big man. I like you. I think I'll kill you last.
I don't think we have a choice, friends. I think we need to fight.
And he pulls his cigar back up to his lips and just takes a big long flicks it off the path. All right, boys. Looks like they're not in the mood for sharing. I'd like everyone to roll for initiative.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting for it.
Buddy.
Oh, sorry, that was. Oh, son of a bitch.
I'm gonna roll in there.
I'm going to also potentially direct us to a map.
Okay. Hang on. You're gonna have to give me a sec
That's all right.
to get the.
Very pretty with the new pictures.
Yeah. Look
This
at
is another map from Neutral Party. I'll put
wow.
the links in the description below again. It was really good for me to sort of put together something very quickly. Of course, you guys ended up stopping by a road, which I didn't quite expect. So there's now a road running through the middle of the map. I'm going to open up the initiative tracker. So what I'll get you guys to do is once turns start coming in to close it, if you
Yeah,
could.
there it is. I've just moved it away.
Yeah, thank you.
Just gotta, yeah.
Everyone else, please,
There we go.
as well.
All right. That's set up well enough, I think.
Okay. Let's do this as
It's
well.
a very nice map.
Yeah, it is really good.
So this is the official map, like content, right?
No,
The campaign.
no, it is not.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said
it's perfect.
the map's from Neutral Party, which is not affiliated with this particular project. Just it's one that I used as well for an earlier town map too. It was just really, really handy. So absolutely a lot of fun. All right,
Now it's loading. It's a little sharper now.
and what I'm going to do is at the moment is put the dogs on one initiative because there's a few of them.
Can I make a meta assumption about this character?
I believe you probably shouldn't, but maybe.
That's okay. I was gonna-
Can I? Is he the Karate Kid?
Damn, got it.
That was my question.
All right.
Sorry.
What I'm going to do is add someone. So let's go with Sveta.
20.
Nice.
And Shio and Odin and Carnelian.
Big scare. Big scare.
Iron's cheating.
Don't worry about Iron. So yours was 20, Sveta.
He's screeching.
Horatio.
14.
14.
Hi there.
Woden.
With my +1, that's a 2.
2. Excellent. And Carnelian.
9.
9.
Oh, guys.
Shoot. Okay. I'll sort this. I'll be okay.
Okay. All right. Let's get started. So the first off the bat is actually the wolves. They rolled pretty high initiative, but when I say wolves, I mean the dogs.
One whole wolf.
Sick boys.
What I'm going to do is that they're not going to do anything without. They're just going to spend this turn essentially dodging or defending the.
What are you doing?
So that means the first actual player to go will be Sveta.
Yeah. Alright,
Light 'em up.
that's a very good request. Because
Flame on.
I'm going to cast a bonfire.
Bonfire.
Yeah. Just on.
Proven. It's a proven ability.
It seems it just works.
What's the range on that?
That is a 60-foot range.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You see a little, like, twinge in Woden's eye when he sees the bonfire coming up.
No offense,
His
Warden.
feet suddenly hurt.
So,
Grab a little fire thing.
His poor little feet cliff.
Feet clip.
and if Sam would kindly make a dexterity save.
Dexterity saving throw.
One might even say reflex.
Or I would say a reflex saving throw. Right. So I'm going to use, before I start using my podcast metal dice, I'm going to use this new sparkly dice that Jen gave me.
Don't do it, it's a trap.
It's a trap. Well, I don't know, it's got a really cool call. Let's see how it rolls against Sveta here. That is going to be... Dexterity saving throw. That is going to be a 16.
That it exceeds
Okay, so
expectations.
no damage as he sort of jumps slightly out of the way.
In him doing so, I would like to panic cast Shillelagh.
Shillelagh? Is that a bonus action? Is
It is.
Okay. You sure can.
Thank you very much. I have imbued the green
Is this
magic.
the first time you've cast Shillelagh?
No, it was
No, you
pronounced as Shellachy in episode
Yes.
1.
The Australian Shillelagh.
Yes.
Yeah, mate.
Mate, we're gonna go Shillelaghing.
Shillelagh.
Do not like that.
that.
And
Wait,
yeah,
what?
I have my green magical staff back, and end my turn.
Okay. I'm assuming you also basically stood up as well.
Are you moving
Yeah.
at all? Or?
You know what? I think I might move right next to Woden. Right there.
Hey, baby.
All right.
Hey,
So,
lady.
He's
out
on.
of the darkness and from behind a tree, a bolt comes flying out from behind the tree towards Woden. I'm going to roll with advantage
No.
as one of these guys shoots a crossbow bolt at you.
They both miss. I can already tell.
This, correct me if I'm wrong, but this should reveal his location, shouldn't it?
Should potentially, but let me see if I hit first. Alright. On one of those dice it was a 1, so not use that one. Let's see, that would be 11 to hit.
Knew it. Missed.
Missed. Alright. And that will reveal his location, so let me go into the GM later. There.
Idiot.
Freaking layer. There it
Nice
is.
shot, idiot.
Alright. So that would be his only turn. Horatio, it is your turn.
So the bane that I had prepared,
Yeah.
has that been triggered in any way? Or is
I
just
think
gonna
it was
happen now?
longer than 6 seconds, unfortunately. So I feel like, unfortunately, you wasted that spell. He was talking for a little while.
Should have attacked earlier. Talking's for idiots.
I believe you did most of the
That's
talking.
true. Sorry. Just love the sound of my own voice.
We all do.
So has he been burned by that bonfire, or is that on his
He
own?
dodged out of the way.
He dodged. Yeah, I'll cast Bane on him.
Okay. What does Bane do?
Bane, he needs to make a charisma save.
Okay. Let's do that first.
Yep.
Charisma saving throw. 17,
Yeah, he passes.
unfortunately. So I rolled really well, actually.
Oh, anyway. Then that does nothing whatsoever.
You're sort of set back. I
Yeah.
put you where you think you would have been.
Yeah. I might. I'll move a little bit, maybe against the large sled.
Okay.
In
I
that
think
three
everyone...
gap.
Okay, so just in here?
No, and that next to the large sled in that little gap. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Okay. It's now Samuel's turn. He steps through the fire, just deftly stepping aside from Sveta's attempt to catch him alight, and he almost casually walks up to Woden as he draws a very ugly-looking scimitar
Come on,
and
baby.
a dagger.
Hit me.
He gets up right close, and you hear him whisper, "It's always the big ones that fall first." And then we'll see what happens on next week's session of Reflex.
I didn't get a go.
Hit him in the nose, baby. Please don't spit monster everywhere on the end of the table.
Can't help it. I do what I want.
I implore you to reconsider.
You want egg?